Like, cutting out at all?
No, you're fine.
Nick? I just want to make sure, like, you don't cut out and shit, and people are like, oh, what the fuck is she saying? I don't want to drag this out.
I literally have 2 laptops open, so I can see everything on my other laptop. But okay, I'm not sure if we're live. Give me 1 second, I have to pull up my YouTube. I'm so prepared.
Just luck, everybody. The best man, woman, or whatever you identify as. I'm like using.
Jacob.
I'm using.
Like, how are you streaming this?
Oh my God,
because
I'm sorry. Okay, so it's live.
I am currently balancing my laptop on an empty beer box. Professional.
Just
Live.
a glass of wine.
I also pour. Here, cheers, Nicole. Wait, I got you. Nick, if you have anything.
Wait, hold on. Nick,
Cheers,
get a
yeah.
drink.
Full glass. Can't see Nick. Nick on camera.
Yeah, he is. For me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I literally can't see him. I love my life. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I'll.
Okay, I'm gonna give it like 1 second to see if people join or not.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask the jury if is the stream working for you all.
Love how it looks like. Oh, now I can't see Nicole. I fucking hate it here.
It's okay, you don't have to. Apparently, Jacob said I don't look good today. No, I'm just kidding.
You look beautiful. I was like, it was a.
Already tearing down women's appearances.
I know, right?
I hate women. We've been new. Okay, so
Mhm.
welcome everyone to the Big Brother Animal Crossing finale after like 70 days, probably. Whoops. We finally have our final 3, and our jury of 10 will be voting for a winner tonight. So I think you guys already predetermined your order for the opening statements. So whoever wants to do that can go first. You have like 5 minutes. I'm not going to time you, but just don't like take forever.
That is me. Alright, cool. Can you guys hear me okay? Love that.
Yes.
Before I begin, I will have to admit something to you guys. I do have something pre-written. I have really bad anxiety, so this is just to help me not have a panic attack. Okay, cool. Alright, so first of all, I just want to thank the hosting team. Yes, you too, Zizo. I'd also like to thank the players. Thank you all for playing alongside me, making this season what it was. And lastly, to my fellow finalists, with the utmost respect for the both of you. I'm looking at you guys. And may the best person win. Really excited to be given the opportunity to own my game and show you all what I believe I played the best game out of my fellow finalists. Coming into Animal Crossing, I had so many question marks. How will I fit into this cast? How will I manage my threat level? If I play my typical villain game, 22 people, what the fuck? With these questions in mind, I knew ultimately my first step I had to take was always going to be swallowing my pride, which is not an easy thing for me to do, coming face to face with my mortal enemy, Nicole. As anxiety-ridden as it was, I knew this relationship would benefit me and her due to how the game dynamics were shaping up. I was able to weaponize a relationship everyone discounted due to its bizarre nature, because fuck, it was weird. And in return, gain a web of connections through it, in which I built upon throughout the game, and ultimately allowed me to bring 2 opposing worlds together to make arguably the biggest move, the game-shifting move this season. But obviously early on, I struggled with competitions, which allowed me to focus my energy on both my strategic and social game. Despite not having any power early on, I knew I could still have power to propel myself further into the game in other ways. But by knowing early on the value of a vote in Big Brother, voters were impressed with several people in the game that I believe might not have happened otherwise. The vote showed my worth and showed my trustworthiness when I had no others. It became a running joke this season. Look, Jess is in the minority. It was always intentional and done on purpose to demonstrate I was willing to die on a rock by people in this game. Voters honestly, which created a foundation that allowed me early on not to become an easy target, despite being linked in an obvious duo with my girl Jones. In doing this, I was able to gain crucial information like Jules' power from Aquila, trust with people like Nicole and Gage, even some bells thanks to my boy Nick, and build solid connections with half this cast because I knew the value of my vote. However, when storing my vote did its job, I was able to move forward with solidified social bonds and the various perks that came along with them. I had alliances with people like Caleb and Gage, that was one, Nicole and Kevin, Mona and Jones, one with Nicole, Kevin, Gage, and Jones. Some short-living ones like the one I had with Nick and Jones. I also had one with Jules and Kevin at some point. With these relationships, I was able to have a web of various connections throughout the game and a funnel of information which I was able to anticipate moves and use to my benefit, ensuring I didn't go up until week 9. However, I know that my social game was not perfect for every person in this game. I do acknowledge that my lines of communication fell a little short with some people in the jury. It was never anything personal or a testament to my commitment to this game. However, given the game dynamics and how clear they appeared early on, I knew I had to focus strengthening certain relationships over others. I know that might be seen as a weakness in some people's eyes. By delegating my efforts, I was able to touch base with every single person in this game in some way or another by using my relationships. I had to ensure that I was in the know and my points were getting across. It can be seen in the weeks where I thought I was most vulnerable, in which a lot of you thought I was going to go. I put money on it that I was going to go up. Additionally, I didn't want to come off this big and slimy because no one wants to be that. I'm almost done, I promise, guys. When there was nowhere to hide, my threat level was apparent. I made sure to win crucial competitions at the perfect time. I got nominated for my second time. I won HOH right after. That was arguably the biggest threat to win. I was able to win veto in a row, ensuring that there was always going to be someone bigger in front of me, all while securing security. Oh my god, perfect. Securing my safety, which allowed me to win the biggest HOH of the season, which allowed me to get here in Final 3. Meaning I was essentially safe from Final 6 on, despite being one of the biggest comp blocks in the end. Wrap this all up, because I know we all want this to be done. I think I played the strongest game out of everyone because I was able to adapt to my situation early on, build some strong connections along the way, and turn it up towards the end, defying all odds and making it to the end as one of the biggest threats. Jury, I hope to answer all your questions and hope by the end of the night I truly earned your vote as the winner of this game. Thank you. I gotta go burp now.
Okay. Thank you, Jess. Whichever one of you said you were going next, feel free.
Yeah, I'm going next. Okay, so good job, Jess, and I'm sure Nicole will do just as good if there is. I'm keeping mine rather short, and I'll do everything with questioning later. So my speech is like, hello, I wrote it out as well. Hello, jury and viewers. I would like to first thank you for an amazing season. Starting this game, my opening goal was to simply make jury, and after that, my expectations for myself were fairly small. I took a month or two break from games and decided to come back and put my full energy into BB Animal Crossing. Unfortunately for me, I made some early mistakes where I couldn't keep my mouth shut, and therefore lost a lot of trust and sway that I had in the house. However, to me, it's not about how many mistakes you make. It's more so about how you are able to fix the mistakes in the aftermath, as well as use them to your advantage. I took my mistakes and used them to make a reason for people to keep me around, as well as use them to build new bridges and keep some of my old ones. As a way not to make this too long, I'm going to use my statistics about my game and then go into depth with my jury statement, with my question and answers to the questions. 2 comp wins, 1 safety, 1 veto, 1 safety power I had to use very early on to keep myself safe. 1 diamond power veto at Jules was luckily given that kept me safe. 7 times in the block overall if you include the final 4. 5 times at eviction if you include the final 4 as well. And just 3 votes to evict me the entire season. I believe that was because my social bonds enabled an ability to make myself less of a threat. And I look forward to all your questions.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself.
I know, it's like
Anyway,
it takes me a second to unmute. Thank you, Nick. Nicole?
Yeah.
Floor.
Okay, I also wrote a pre-written speech. I'm glad everyone else did, so I don't feel alone. Okay, so my speech. Hello, everyone. Before I begin, I just want to thank Jacob, the other host, and everyone who played. It's been a great season. When I joined this game back in April, I was shocked to see many people who I had played with before seen in viewing lounges. I immediately had to organize my priorities of who I wanted to work with, who I wanted to be, who I thought would be a good fit to have this bigger threats around me, and who I needed to know more about in order to understand how my game was going to play out. The first week, I made an alliance with Owen and Shoaib, knowing that Shoaib was a big personality, and he would probably go earlier, but working with him would give me someone who was fully loyal to me, and let's face it, nobody really wants to be against Shoaib. So on top of that, he had access to the Zwooper people, so if I wasn't as close to them as he was, I was able to bridge the gap for me. So then after that, I created the alliance, Stages of Angels, with Gage, Pippa, and Asia in order to establish an in-game relationship with those I have friendships with outside of the game. Next came the hard part, which was making amends with Jess, who already touched upon our bad game history. And while Jess initially broke the ice of wanting a fresh start, it was my idea to work together under the cover of people already assuming we had a tense relationship. So that would hopefully let us play into different relationships and relay information back to each other. And that would also give me one of my most trusting allies that I had the whole game, which was Wild. With these alliances set up, I was able to feel secure in the game, even if one group of allies was being picked off early on. Still in the beginning of the game, it was hardest for me because, in the beginning of the game, it was the hardest part for me. I knew if I didn't put a lot more time and trust into my alliances with Jess and Kevin, with our Dumb Bitches alliance, I would have faltered very early on. I also think in this section of the game around Cheatham's vote, where the game started to shift, I could sense the dynamics very well and could tell that Asia was in a very hard spot, having to juggle so many people trusting her. This is where my weakness in the game came into play. I definitely, admittedly, got too caught up with who knew who and felt intimidated by the list in my head of who was closer outside of the game. I felt like if someone didn't talk to me very much, I shouldn't reach out because they were probably set on aligning with others. I recognized this as a flaw in my game, and I tried to fix it in later stages of the game because I couldn't go back and change it. So I tried to rework my game to the best of my ability. In my opinion, it was more genuine of me to admit that right now and try a bit to correct it in that time than it was to send out the same hello message to everyone every morning as a guise of social charm. There were times where I faltered for sure. I know it's going to be brought up, and I'll take in the criticism, knowing very well the two other finalists sitting next to me also had times where they were stuck in some sort of social rut and had to struggle to get out. After the Jonah vote and the Blake vote with Asia staying, not only did I feel bleak, but I felt my alliances with Pippa and Gage and Jess and Kevin were coming to a fork in the road. Eventually, one would have to go after the other. At this point, I also realized I needed more on my resume than just being close to people and trying to influence people in power. I needed the power and to make a big move before Kevin got to the end and won out. I felt that Kevin was comfortable with bringing me to the end because I couldn't win over him, but he could win over me. That week, Jules placed so much trust in me that she, who was on the block, heard my plan and threw the veto so that I could get Kevin out. I have no doubt that if I had initially named Kevin and Jess full out, one of them would have won veto and my whole game would have been blown up. Waiting until the veto showed that I had fine-tuned a strategy that I would use for the rest of the game. I know in this game, some of my moves were unpolished and blunt, but as I hope to prove to you through your questions, I fought to be here each week, I tried my best, and I hope tonight that can be rewarded and seen. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Okay, so now I will be adding the jurors one by one to give you guys some questions. So obviously the first one is Asia. They're going in random order, like I'm just kind of asking who wants to go and then they're going. So Asia is up first. The floor is yours.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. I don't really have any particular order that I want to go in. Does anybody want their question first? If not, I'm just gonna.
I honestly don't care. You can me first if you want.
All right, Jess, you'll go first. All right. So the round after my HOH on the live night, you told me that you didn't know that there was any game to talk and you had no idea what was going on. From my point of view, there was a lot of game that was being played, and I would have a hard time voting for you if you truly were out of the loop until jury starts. So I want to know, were you just blowing smoke up my ass, or was that the truth? And if it was a lie, what from your perspective was going on in the pre-jury phase?
Right, cool. I'm glad you asked that, Asia. First of all, can I just apologize, guys? I was like fumbling with my mic. I was not laughing at people's speeches. Your question was basically, was I blowing smoke up your ass? I think in Big Brother, perception is a big key. And I think I already had a lot of heat on me, so I kind of wanted to come off as a little bit, less threatening. So I did blow smoke up your ass a little bit, just because I thought there was two sides of the game, and I wasn't sure if I could climb your social standing and your social ladder. Like I said, kind of my opening speech, I think I knew most things that were going on. Like I obviously knew that about Jules' care package because I was the one who actually triggered it by accident. I also found out from Akila that she had it, so I kind of knew exactly what was going on. But yeah, I'm scared of you because to me you were the biggest threat because I think you were playing the game I wanted to play, where you had such a good pulse on the game. Yeah, to be honest with you, that's what I thought was happening. Could be wrong. Who knows? Sorry, I'm bad at this.
You're good. I got basically what I wanted to hear. Anybody want to go next?
Doesn't matter to me. I'll go second to keep the order.
Oh.
Yeah, good. I'm good to go.
I don't care. Okay, I'll do Nick. Okay. Nick, would you agree with the statement that the strategy in this game was a little bit more? You good?
Yeah, I'm just trying to turn the volume. Yeah.
Oh, you're good. Would you agree with the statement that your strategy in this game was a little more short-term than long-term, and that you had some trouble thinking ahead with your moves?
For sure, I do try and think a little short-term because I know long-term is hard to look forward to, especially when you're in my position. And any misplaced in like what you say could be used against you, and you could be the next target. I wasn't really in with any like crazy groups. I mean, obviously, I kind of had like the usuals, like all that big group. But like besides that, when you guys started getting picked off, I knew there was a big chance that I can just be next and they can just pick me off eventually. So I had to kind of position myself long term, which I think my long term move is probably to make myself look as small as a threat possible, kind of like Jess did. And when people will be like, "Oh, Nick's GOAT," I agree with them. I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm the GOAT. Bring me to the end." When I knew full well that, I mean, I've had my fair share of ups and downs, and it's going to do what's best for me. And I believe that's kind of my long term, but short term, I always did what's best for me to keep me to the next round instead of keeping me like 5 rounds in the future, because that's something could go wrong, especially with me because I talk a lot. And thank you for the question.
No problem. All right, just Nicole left. I'm going to try my hardest to not sound like an asshole about this. Nicole,
Yeah.
after I got evicted, there was sort of a blow up in the house chat where you told the house about how I told Gage to stop talking in PM. And I'm just wondering why you didn't include the part of the story where I messaged Gage to campaign early on in the day, and throughout the day he ignored my PM while responding to me in other servers and other chats, and didn't message me until moments before the vote to try to tell me that he was evicting me. And then I told him to stop typing, because I wouldn't have done that earlier on in the day. I felt like he was not giving me a chance to campaign and just wanted to tell me so that he could say that he told me. And I feel like you excluding that painted me in a sort of light that I didn't like, especially when I was not able to respond. So if you have anything to comment.
Yeah, I definitely didn't know about the other part. I really didn't know that he didn't like that other things were happening. He only told me about that part, but I do apologize because I didn't like recognize that that was something that was happening, that like you felt like you couldn't like interject in. It was just like a comment that he had made to me that I felt was like, I guess, relevant at the time, but I now like thinking about it, obviously I could have thought like this isn't my thing to say, like obviously. So like I do apologize, and I know with too, like you told me like I wish you would have told me sooner, and that is something I regret too. So like that's all I can really say is like sorry. That is something that I regret.
All right, I am not mad about anything that happened in the game anymore. I think that you are all lovely, lovely people. I'm not going to speak for any of the other jurors, but I feel like I more or less know what I'm going to do tonight. I think all of you should be as honest as you can. Don't try to, make yourselves, we all know the score by now. I feel like just be as honest as you can, be as truthful if you can. If you think that you need to say something, then say it. Now is the time to do it. But, keep in mind that with the biggest theme of this jury stage being jury management, that all of you actually have a lot of making up to do. So keep that in mind. Again, love you all. Think you're great. And I'm going to stop talking. Bye.
Thank you, Asia.
Okay, thanks, Asia. So, now that Asia is done, we'll move on to our next juror, Miss Pippa, looking beautiful tonight. You're still muted, Queen.
Thanks,
okay.
It's the pool water. Okay, first of all, let me exit out of this because I'm watching the stream at the same time and it was messing with my eye. Okay, hey y'all.
Hello.
Kind of glad to see you here, I guess. I'm just kidding. Okay, so I am, like I did warn you, not going to be the nicest in my jury questions because I forgot how freaking bitter I was when I played games, I'll be honest. So I'm going to ask these questions. Also, a reminder, probably don't read the confessionals I made because they're also really mean. Okay, so I'm going to start with Jess. Okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool.
So my questions are like written out. Some of them are kind of long, but I'll go quick. Jess, when I won my second, I think HOH, maybe the third, you came to me and claimed we were at a point in the game where LOL, you've nommed me before, shouldn't have been a thing because it was really petty. However, just a couple rounds before, like 5 days, I gave you the same argument and you clearly thought otherwise. Could you please explain the hypocrisy that you showed to me?
Oh, I sure can. First of all, yes, I was hypocrite. I will admit that, and I'm sorry. I think when I had won, I honestly saw you as the biggest threat comp-wise, because I do think you won the most comps out of everyone left. And I knew moving forward that if I wanted to get to the end, it was going to take a couple comps to win, because there's like a buzz going around how Jess is the biggest threat. Yeah, I saw you as the biggest threat. I also think everyone, and I'm not just kissing your ass right now, I think you I've said this, Nicole, you've impressed me like the most out of everyone, because I felt like at the beginning of the game you were like kind of like a cocoon, and then you like spreaded your wings a little bit. Spread not a word, but you know what I mean. And I knew you were charming, and I knew you were charming, and I knew you could fucking fuck a bitch up at a comp, and that scared me. I'm sorry, it was very hypocritical of me. I will admit that. I'm just not good with my words sometimes, but I think it paid off because I won the last comp, and I think you would have kicked my ass in it.
I don't know. Also, I just wanted to say to you, Jess, that from my point of view, I didn't think you were in the minority until after Kevin left. So I don't know if that's going to influence, or not influence, but that's something I wanted other people to think about. Okay, so thank you for that. Thanks for the praises. I really, just kidding. Okay, so I'm going to go to Nick, because Nicole, I'm going to save you for last. Nick, where did I write yours? Okay. Nick, it's kind of obvious that you didn't play the best game. First of all, I do commend you though for reaching out to everybody every time that you could, because a message is still a message to somebody. But I do, it's okay, I do wonder if you weren't there, who do you think should be there instead of you?
Like in the final 3?
Yeah.
And it's a tough. Well, being blunt, probably Jules. She killed the game, and I mean, just from like a me to her standpoint, we were like, once again, sorry for the background noise.
It's okay, I can still hear you.
On a standpoint of like who I know played a really good game, Jules killed it. Like straight up, she killed the game. She was good. That's just how I feel about it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Okay.
Thank you for the
I
question.
appreciate the answer. Nicole. I do love you. And this... I don't
Okay,
wanna
fine, give
make
me in. Give it.
I don't want to make you cry, but it
Rip
might
the Band-Aid
happen.
off.
I'm so sorry. Okay, so Nicole,
Yeah.
people have told you, but this is it's not like the worst jury management that I've ever seen, but you didn't have the best jury management.
I'm aware. It's
It's
self-aware.
probably the worst I've seen from you, though.
Yeah, for a time, you know.
So I have 3 really quick questions that I just want you to answer in like 3 sentences or less. Number 1, do you honestly believe that the Kevin move was yours and yours only, when literally every single person ever was telling you, you need to break up Kevin and Jess. You need to break up Kevin and Jess.
I think it was, obviously I couldn't even vote. It would be dumb for me to say it was a decision that was only my own, but I was the one who did it. And if Nick and Jules didn't blow up in the chat, I still would have done it. Because if you ask Gage, like, I was already planning it. Like, I already told him about it. Like, as soon as I won HOH, I was like, we need veto. Let's talk about this. Don't, like, say anything. I wanted to keep it super... Because I didn't think at that point that Kevin would think that I would do something towards him, because, like I said, I couldn't win against Kevin, but Kevin could win against me. And so I wanted to keep him very calm and cool and collected until after veto. And I'm sorry, Kevin, I know you're watching this, and I know that's like a bad thing to say. But it's the truth, so I'm gonna be honest. You said to be honest, like that's what I was doing. I couldn't put them up together, because if one of them won a veto, then one of them's in the house and they know my allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, I'm saying, like when I said that, I'm saying, yes, everyone wanted to do that, and that was probably what was going to happen, but I feel like if anybody else did it, they would have put them up side by side. And because I had the relationship with them that I did, I was able to do it less high key, because if you won and you put up Nick and Jules, they're obviously still expecting a blind side.
Mm-hmm.
With me, they're not expecting that because I'm aligned with them, but I understand that if I get to the end with Kevin, I'm not going to win. So that's kind of more or less of what I was saying than like, oh, this was only my move and nobody else had any say in it. Because I know you had a say in it, Pippa, and I know that Gage had a say in it, and I know that Jules and Nick were very vocal about it. And but I was saying like that was my, because okay, so if Nick hadn't like blown up in the house chat and like literally yelled at me to put up Kevin, like I would have still have had a plan to do it like all along. So that's kind of what I was saying. That's
Okay.
it.
These next 2 questions, I appreciated the long explanation on that one, because that's a question that we've all been asking. These next 2, keep them kind of shorter. I'm so
Sorry.
So number 2, I recently, I kind of learned at a point that you made it seem like we peer pressured you into using the double vote on Jonah. Could you maybe explain why you did that? When it was used of your own volition?
Like ask a follow-up question, because I don't know who I felt peer pressured me.
Me and Gage, essentially.
No, I 100% used that on my, like, that's my bad, and I used it. Like, I asked you guys, but I never once, like, if I said, I'm sorry, but I also didn't feel like you guys peer pressured me at all. Like, that was my fuck up, and I used it, and was detrimental to a part of my game, and I was able to recover. But I completely 100% own that I did that. So I might have like tried to be like, I can't believe I did that, or like I might have said something like that. I'm very sorry if I did. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but
Yeah.
I do apologize. I was
that's
an
okay. I
asshole
just wanted to
sometimes in
know.
this game, and I'm gonna like own up to it. I'm gonna be honest.
Don't look back at the face I just made, but I guess this is more of a rhetorical question, but I just wanted to know, like, why did you try to lecture me about jury management when I put you up, when I kind of had the same thought process that you did when you put up Kevin?
So that you had when I put up Kevin.
Yeah, because, like, I don't know, I kind of felt the same way I feel like about you that you did about Kevin, I guess, in a way. And you just lectured me about jury management, and if you realize that you had terrible jury management, I just want to know, if I only betrayed like 2 people, why did you think you could lecture me about jury management, I guess? That was my mean comment, basically.
I'm trying to think about when I lectured you about jury management.
Right
my
after
memory
I put
is
you
very
up,
bad.
right after I put you up. You
Oh, I
said
did in the house chat. Right.
and you
Sorry.
were like, you just
Maybe
went
I
on.
shouldn't have drank wine. I don't know. But anyway. No, that was a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Like,
What?
I understand. Okay, because I think it's our personal relationship that makes a difference. That's the only thing that makes a difference. It's
Okay.
because we have a personal relationship, and like the same thing Asia saying with Gage is like he talked to her multiple times during the day. And I had talked to you about something, not to get into it, but like super personal, and we talked about this. And I know you didn't mean to do it like that, and I like completely like don't hold it against you that you did it like that. But I was going through like a lot of like a personal moment, and then we talked about that, and that's kind of where it came from, like the anger of that.
Okay.
Because I was like, we were talking about all this personal stuff, but you couldn't tell me that you were putting me up, and so that's kind of where the jury management comment came from on your part.
I understand. I'm glad that you acknowledged that you had terrible jury management.
Yes, yeah, I'm aware. I'm aware. I'm just here.
So that was it. Thank you. Congratulations to whoever wins. I'm excited to watch the rest of this stream. Shout out to the jury. Love y'all. Kisses. Thanks, Jacob.
Love you. All right. So now that Pippa is gone,
My queen.
I'll be adding the next juror in 1 second. All right.
I also said, when you said I drank too many glasses, I'm like, shit, I'm on my second.
Tuva, look how far I filled the glass up a year.
And I'm like,
All right. So next is Miss Lily.
Lily. Back on mute.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't tell if.
Oh.
Hi, Lily. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Sorry, I like totally didn't see you join the call. So yeah, whenever you want to begin, feel free.
All right, so first of all, I wanted to just say congratulations to all of you for making it this far. I know it was a very long and tough road to get here, but y'all did great. So does anyone have a preference of like, okay, I'll just go in order of how I have my questions written down. So this one's for Jess.
Love it. Hello.
Hi, most of the jury had game ties with you, so just out of curiosity, could you do a ranking of who you trusted the most to who you trusted the least out of the jurors?
Really? That was so shady. I can do it. All right. So my number 1 was Jones. I told everything to Jones. I'm not gonna lie, like Jones was one of the only people that knew that me and Nicole were close early on. I knew about Jones's double vote. She also knew about Nicole's double vote. Like Jones was my number 1. I'm sorry, Nicole. I'm talking jury though, because Nicole, I think you would have been like my number 2 maybe. Then it's obviously Kevin, who I love very much. He funneled a lot of information to me, and I felt like that tie with Kevin really me the information I needed. I knew there were sometimes Kevin wasn't telling Nicole everything, so I was shady and I would tell Nicole stuff like that. So Kevin, okay, it's a toss-up between Gage and Caleb because we had an alliance. I don't know what it was called. Let me look if I can. It was like a really weird name called Gage's Pups. So I think they kind of tied early on because both like they were mutually close with each other, and I really love that. Also, my computer's gonna die. So those two. I think Jules is right under there because early on I knew that I had just played a game with Jules. I was really excited to play with Jules, and she also was there. Also, I love Jonah. So Jonah's right there because Jonah and I also had an alliance with Jones. He would tell me most of the things. Nick told him about me, so that was cool. Lily, I love you. Like we talked a lot early on, and then it kind of just fizzled. So I put you there. So it was kind of there because, like I said early on, we didn't really talk. But then if we were talking, okay, question. Are we talking pre-jury phase or jury phase? Because if it like kind of.
I would say jury phase.
Cool. So it's the same thing. So it was like Pippa because we didn't really talk. And unfortunately, it was you, Lily, because we just didn't really talk. And I kind of did a thing where I kind of delegated my time to certain people, and I knew they were close to people. Kind of just. That's my ranking. If I forgot someone, I'm so sorry. I'm drinking wine. There's too many people in this game.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question.
My next one is for Nick. So, from when I was in the game with you.
Background noise. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
Yep.
Lily, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I'm gonna mute while you ask your question. I'll unmute.
Okay. I just didn't want to interrupt. Okay, so Nick, from when I was in the game with you, you kept telling me about how you felt like you were on the bottom. Since you're in Final 3 now, what do you feel got you here? / how did you get yourself here?
Definitely taking the time to use my connection with Jules to connect myself with a bunch of other people in the game. Once again, background noise, sorry.
I know that they are,
but my connection with Jules really helped me long term, as well as whenever someone mentioned me being a goat, doing this, doing that, saying this, I kind of turned it into a positive for me, and I kind of played off of it to make myself look like less of a player and to make myself seem more trustworthy. Once screaming. Anyways,
that's actually good. It's better.
Me trying to like position myself better was my entire second half of the game. I never really felt like it was like number one for anyone. Maybe besides Jules, but I think Jules had other people as well. I was never like a number one for anyone. I'm sure people wanted to take me to the end because I was like hammering it in that I wasn't gonna win. I don't know what the jury's feeling like now, but hopefully that kind of answers your question. But yeah, I kind of just maneuvered my way through by like making myself seem as little as possible. And I did mean everything when I said I was feeling on the minority. I never was. At the time, I wasn't connected with Jess. I wasn't connected really with Nicole.
She's one shot.
Like the people that made it deep in this game, I wasn't that engaged. Was betraying me left and right. So, yeah, I just had to reconnect once you left and once jury phase really started. Thank you for the question.
All right, thank you. So my last question is for Nicole. Hi. So what would you say your biggest move in the game was?
I feel like it's repetitive getting out Kevin, but I think that is what the turning point was for me. And I know that's stupid to say because it's a later stage of the game, but I felt like I was very secure in between many alliances, and then more alliances just kept coming. And then at some point, I felt like Kevin felt very comfortable and secure in the game, and that if he got any farther, he would just win. And so I felt like it was something that I had to do. I didn't think that was something that Even if everyone else was willing to do, I didn't find that it was something that Jess was willing to do. So I didn't even tell Jess that I was doing it. I kind of just like told her right before I did it. That was kind of my biggest move. And I know people are going to be like, that's kind of repetitive. You keep saying the same thing. But that's what it is. That's like that's the biggest move that I had was kind of getting Kevin out because he would have won the whole thing. And that's just like a fact. Like he would have won at the end because he had so many alliances and so many allegiances to everyone.
All right, thank you. That's all from me. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Lily. You're an angel. I love you.
Love you.
Okay, so I'm going to be adding the next juror right about now.
You really got them all to stay up late tonight, huh?
Everyone's here except for Blake, so...
He works in the morning.
Yeah, but he left questions, so...
Also, I'm really sorry if I got up. I didn't want to be rude, Nicole. My computer was dying.
No, I figured. You said that. It's
I was
okay. Hello,
Okay.
Gage.
Our next juror
I love your
is
role playing.
Gage. So,
Am I allowed to
Gage,
talk?
the floor is yours.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm good already? Okay. Hello, final three. I just want to first off keep this, I'm going to probably keep it short and sweet, probably the quickest out of everyone. Just because I have places to be. It's also 10:30 at night, and I think I hear thunder in the background, and also like frogs fucking, I believe. So we're having a pretty wild night right now. I just have two quick questions. I've not been watching the stream, so the first one already got asked. Call me out, and I have another one in the back of my head. But this is a question I always ask when I'm on the jury for any org, and I am presented with a final three. So. This is like the second Big Brother game I've ever played. The first one, I was literally second. So to make jury this time was pretty cool, but kind of unprecedented to have a final three for a Big Brother game. So I would like to picture like the alternate scenario where this game actually was a final two, and you respectfully were the third place 11th juror, final member of the jury. Let's say that was the case, and this was a final. Who would you vote for between your other two finalists? So just to put in perspective, so like Jess, who would you vote for between Nick and Nicole? Nick, who would you vote for between Jess and Nicole? And then Nicole, who would you vote for between Jess and Nick? And you guys can go in any order whenever you're ready.
First of all, Fox fucking in the background, very fitting, Gage. I honestly thought you were going to ask us to vote one of them off, and I was sweating. I think, personally, I would have, I love you, Nick, but I would have to vote for Nicole in the end. Because I think we kind of play, I saw her game more. I feel like Nick, I think, with a lot of people, no one knew what you were doing. I think Nicole had battle, the friends. I know it's not easy to separate friendship and game. That's something I struggle with sometimes. I think that's something that's to her credit, because she did have quite a few friends in this game, and she had to take them out. And I think, to me, I like a story in the end. I'm a visual person. I like a good story. So I kind of like the story about Nicole and Jazz. It was a big one. And then she had to vote off her friends. And I think that's a really hard thing to do. Sorry, I'm repeating. I think I'm drunk now. But yeah, I just think that needs a little bit more respect, because in my mind, if you put me in a game with a friend, I've made those mistakes before when I put friendship over game. That's why Nicole would get my vote in the end. Also, I made a final two with her. And that has some weight to it to me. Nick, you played great though.
Before the thunder sets in, can I ask when you guys made this final two?
It was late in the game. It was literally right after, after Kevin left. I honestly don't remember.
Felt like it was before.
Maybe it was.
I felt like we were Allison and Jennings the whole entire time.
Really? Yeah, no.
I was just curious because
I feel like it was official after Kevin left, because obviously we weren't going to leave Kevin out.
Yeah, I was just curious because whenever Nicole, this is something I brought to the jury, and even Pippa when she won final 6 HOH right before I was evicted, I was like, well, why do you think she didn't put Jess on the block? Because they're still super fucking close. Do you not fucking realize this?
Yeah,
we kind of hit
I
that.
figured that was confirmed. Yeah. Nick or Nicole, whenever you guys are ready.
Nick, you can go first.
Sounds good.
I just randomly
Obviously,
put
no
that on
disrespect to you, Nicole. We kind of discussed. Jess would get my vote just because I don't know. It's just because Jess was like, she kind of had an uphill battle, and so did Nicole. But like, I think we all did at one point. Jess had like an uphill battle with Brett, especially towards the late game. I called her out personally. I feel like just because of that, I cannot just like not vote her in the end. You know, if someone gets DNF, you call them out. You have to vote them. Like how it works, in my opinion. So like, just based on that, I probably would vote Jess. Although Nicole, you also did play a great game. So thank you for the question.
Okay, so I would vote Jazz over Nick. Sorry, Nick. I felt like a lot of people, especially when Jules said she was going to vote Nick at the end, it did surprise me because a lot of people had a lot of complaints about Nick throughout the whole entire game. And then there was this point where people started protecting him, and it really confused me until we had that whole blow up in the thing. We talked about how he was playing for second, but that's like obviously not the case. Everybody here felt like it was on a really like anybody has a shot. But like at that time, it was a blow up. That's what happened, and I felt like that's what people were doing. We're kind of like aligning with him for that reason. But for Jess, I felt like the same reason she had for me is like we saw a lot of each other's games, and she obviously confided in me about a lot of stuff. And I would feel like I would have to give her my vote just because I saw the game that she played flat out. And if we're talking about like from a standpoint where I would want to vote for someone who I knew played a very good game and I had already been voted out, and I would vote for Jeff. That's just what I would do.
Awesome. And I just have one more question for you guys. Just to keep it, like I said, short and most importantly, sweet this time. For me personally, this was probably one of the most mentally taxing games I've ever played in like 5 years of Orbs. So just to keep it very lighthearted, I was just going to ask you guys, what was your favorite moment from playing this game? It can be like something game related, still can be something very personal related, but I was just kind of curious.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
It was the night.
I know what you're gonna say.
No. So it was the night where I was like, oh my god, I've got 10,000 bells, living my best fucking life. Go and purchase my first thing, and it's like, and I'm on call with Jones this whole time, by the way, as one does, and I'm like, ching, double eviction week, and I'm like, cool, love my life, Jones, and Jones was like, okay, I'm going next, and she went, ching, and she got Survivor week. And then we're like, fuck, so next week, Survivor and double eviction. And I'm like, okay, look, Nick just gave me 1,000 bells. I got this. Ching. And I fucking triggered the care package for Jules. I was like, can't fucking win. And we had a fucking mental breakdown for like an hour. And it was it was honestly the most crap thing. So like, I felt like I was this high. I'm like 10,000 bells. Like, I'm fucking balling. And Jacob was like, Nook's Cranny is gonna humble you right now. Congratulations, you just gave someone who's not really with you a fucking diamond power of whatever. And it's double eviction. Have fun. So that was like the most fun because I think just the emotion and like, you guys know Jones. You know Jones's like laugh is so infectious. So yeah, that was my like one of my favorite moments in the game. That fucking cracked me up. I also thought it was really funny with Joel when Jones tried to smack Jules. That just came up. That's a different moment.
That's not the one I was gonna say. But yeah, that one too. Nick, you can go next if you want.
Okay, that sounds good. My favorite moment was winning the veto when Jones was HOH. I think that was a very needed veto for me just to make it next round. Sorry about the background noise. It's like a near reoccurring thing. I'm gonna keep saying that. But just overall, winning the veto, I mean, I didn't expect to even get like 1,000 and to get like that many votes. Someone was protecting me. That's all I gotta say. Because I only hit it like 500 times, and I got like I did so like to win a spam comp, like a popularity comp. That's big for me because I never win those. So that's the best moment. And thank you for the question.
Okay, so mine is not game related in the slightest. Mine is only Cyberbully Caleb because he had the jar of boiled eggs that were peeled because that's
Don't
still
bring
to
up
this
Endgame.
day.
Bring it up Endgame. I feel so bad about Endgame.
Still to this day, it rings in my mind. He had it, but I love him. I love
I
him
just
so much.
say last
Like
night.
we all came together to talk about that. It was great.
Last night I was hosting K-Walk in a live pressure cooker, and I asked the BL to ask him questions. One of the questions was, please tell me how many boiled eggs in a bag you've ate. Look it. Relaxing. Sorry, Gage. I know you want to go. Had to answer?
Yeah,
I'm good. I just want
fine.
to sit down. I think it might rain soon. But I'm all good. I'll let the next person go. Thank you guys so much. Jacob, do I just hang up? Like, and that's good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love all three of you and me
Sorry.
and my expired rose gold power veto. Kiss my ass.
Sorry, I had to plug in my laptop.
I can't feel my face. I think I need to stop drinking.
Okay, so next.
Background noise. You think it's gonna win Nick's brother or Fox's fucking Gage's background? Now
The
BL.
frogs. It's always the frog.
Frogs or foxes?
Okay, next.
Oh, he was just here. Where'd he go?
Jonah.
And Jonah said nope.
Wait for Jonah.
He was just here 2 seconds ago.
You're serious? I'm balancing my computer on a fucking on an empty box, and it's like
Oh, Jonah, how nice of you to show up this time.
Okay, there we go. Hey, first of all, congratulations, and then also, so this entire Q&A has had a lot to do with jury management, and so yeah, this is not gonna. Sorry, I hate public speaking. Anyways, I'm gonna be selfish. So, Nick and Nicole, I would like to hear what your goodbye messages would be to me, if you ever did send them.
Yeah, I'll start first. I didn't send one because it wouldn't upload to YouTube. I'm like, I can't type this. I even messaged Jacob, like, tell them this. I never sent it in, so I'm sorry for that. And to the rest of the jury. But I would really be for you. It was a pleasure to get to work with you this game in the slightest. I know you did like tell Jess a few things. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna hold against you or whatever. You got me. But it was a pleasure to get to work with like active Jonah instead of working with like Jonah from Glue, who showed up every like 16 days and then was like, "Hi, how are you?" and then left for the next like 32 weeks. So it was great to work with you in the slightest, and I hope to get work with you more in future games. It's not pre-made, but yeah, that's all I gotta say. And that's all I got. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, thank you, Nicole.
Okay, so there came a point where I asked Jacob if I could still send goodbye messages, and he said yes. I'm gonna be honest, he said yes, and I don't know why I didn't send them. I just felt like people would think it was fake if I did it like after they, like a long time after they were voted out, because we already touched upon this with people, like I just didn't know how to manage people who I had upset and hurt, and that is like a personal thing that I'm not gonna get into. Like I don't know how to like talk to people who like I didn't want to upset you again. Like, I don't want to be like, incoming, there's a message from Nicole, like, 2 weeks later, and you've already, like, been voted out 2 weeks, and now you get this new message about, like, things that happened 2 weeks ago. So that was kind of my reasoning. Obviously, it's not, like, an excuse. I should have sent one as soon as it happened. I would have been like, I'm so sorry, Jonah. It was either you or me, and I didn't think it was going to end up like that. And when I tell you, your vote was the, like, kissing ass, not being, like, safe, the worst I have ever felt. Ever in an org. I played, like, 20. Like, I have never felt so shitty as to when I saw that vote. And it was so far a difference. And, like, I was like, Jonah's gonna think that I don't like him because I used this double vote for what? And I literally don't I just didn't know what to say. Like, I felt terrible. And so what my goodbye message to you would have been like, you should have been here instead of me, because I wish that, I mean, I understand what Jules did, what she did, and she had to, and like she really had the good intentions to what she did. And I kind of betrayed her trust in that way because she thought it was going to go a certain way. Yeah, like I would have just had to say sorry, and that I understand whatever you have to do in jury. Like, I understand, because I know that a hurt like that is like worth more than a jury vote. Like, you know, like, we played other games together, like minis and stuff, and you know that I love you. So like, but like when I felt that, like, that's the worst I've ever felt in a game. So yeah, that's what I'd say. It's just like, sorry, and I'm sorry that you're not here.
Thank you. Love you too. Yeah, congratulations on being here, everyone. And good luck. Goodbye.
Thank you, Jonah.
I love him so much.
I'm not the boss. Wasn't sure if there's an echo or not, so I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
I'm adding the next juror.
Caleb. You just talked about his boiled egg, Nicole. There you. Hi, Caleb.
Hi. Do I start now?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, so my question, what I want to ask is super selfish, because I was only in the game for a little while. It was very early jury. But basically, it's the same question for all of you, so it's very simple. And all you have to answer is 2 parts. Part A, on a scale of 1 to 10, how closely did you want to work with me? And then B, I know everyone hates what ifs, but I'm going to ask a what if. If you had it your way, what placement would I have received in this game? Here you go. You guys can go in any order. I don't care.
Do you guys want me to go first again, or does someone else want to do it?
It's up to you. If you don't want to think about it.
I'll go first. All right. So the first question was, how closely do you want to work with me, right? Well, I think we did work. I wanted to work with you so bad. Cause like, I was in Kevin's house chat for Heroes 2020, and I saw the way he talked about you and how you were loyal, and I knew you're like a super sweet person. And when I play again, I gotta vibe with someone. You know what I mean? Like, I really gotta mesh. I feel like we really meshed, and then like we both, oh my god, I would cry. And then we both ended up on the block together, and it was like one of the. I tell you, I had 911 dialed because my heart was pounding and my heart was just broken. I'm not lying, Caleb. It's like on a scale of 1 to 10. I think in the game we left off, we were at a 6, 7 maybe. I wanted it to be a 10 so bad. I just needed people around me who I knew were gonna be information and like work together. And a lot of people said you weren't talking to them, but I wanted it so bad. I wanted you engaged. I thought about it. I'm like, oh, this alliance, Chef's Kiss, would be amazing. If I could give you any placement, I don't want to be the bullshitter and say first because you're fabulous. I'm trying to think. It's a really tough question, to be honest with you. Yep, I want first. I want first, and you're not.
Well, yeah, it's like a question that the reason I asked that question is not just like, what do you want to give me? Like, it's almost like in your boot order, where would I have fit?
Okay.
To your like path to the end. To
Here's the
win,
question
you
a
know?
little bit. Yeah, I get what you mean. Thing is that no, that's a really fucking hard question, huh? I was about to say A, but I'm Canadian and I don't want to be stereotyped. I don't know. I think, Caleb, as much as I love you, I feel like you're a very level-headed person, so I would want to give you a jury placement because I feel like you're a voice of reason. I also think you're very likable. So I could see if you continue in the game at the level of Caleb I know you are, I could see you, I would give you 4. Because I would never let you get to the end. I would never let you get to the end because I know you're charismatic and I know you're able to talk your way and you're like charming and hot. yeah, that's where I would give you. Do I think you deserve it? Probably not, but if I was still in the game, I would never let you go next to me because I know. And that would have been a big yikes. I hope that answered your question. If not, I'm really sorry.
You definitely answered my question.
Kayla?
Do you want to keep the order going, I'm guessing? Or do you want to go?
Right.
You can go.
Okay, sounds good. I mean, I would say 8, honestly, at the time like you left, just because you were done dirty in the double. Apparently Gage was trying to get me off really bad, and scapegoat for Asia, like just kind of throw up next to someone, so like I wouldn't go up. So that's what I've heard. But like really, I wanted to work with you long term. You engage. I wasn't faking that. It was just you two were such underdogs, and I felt like I could relate to you two. And for that reason, I might have brought you to the end. I know my number Jules, but it's just like what at the end of the day would get me to like a good coaster vote, and I think Jules would destroy me. And although morally, last round I wouldn't have been able to evict Jules. I think had it been like you and it would have been a little maybe easier. Just be like, oh, I like you both. Well, not say like, oh, I don't like Jess or I don't like Nicole, but like, oh, I've been like so close with you both, and I can relate to you both like on a game level. So like I feel like I would have brought you to the final 2. I don't know what placement I would have given you, but yeah. But yeah, definitely an 8. I feel like you weren't like my number 1. I think Jules would always have that spot just because we connected so much this game. But yeah, been like a close like number like 2 for me.
Okay, I'll take it.
Thank you for the question.
Of course.
So I'm gonna go through like sections of this. I know that's annoying.
No, sure. Go for it.
Because like coming into the game, we came kind of like not fresh out of 2020, but like kind of out of 2020.
Yeah, it was in the back of our mind.
Yeah, and so I realized that I know you, and then I know that Kevin knows you, and so in that stage of the game, I was kind of like a 7. And I was like, okay, like I can definitely work with Caleb and I can definitely like trust him, and I feel like not like no offense to Jess, but I feel like there could have been like an alternate universe where like me, you, and Kevin had like some weird, and like maybe Jules had some like weird like 2020 alliance. But we didn't, and so then like slowly as the game went on, I would say like maybe like a 5, and then like towards the end where we did like dip our toe into working together, I would say it's an 8. Like I like shot up. I was like, I have so much potential of like working with Caleb, and the only thing I would say that worried me and that like I had an eye on was that you were gonna obviously be closer to Kevin than you would ever be to me, and that's like the same scenario that I have with Jeff. And that's like why Kevin had to go at some point, because I did feel like Kevin and Jess were closer than me and Kevin, and so I feel like that would be the same scenario for you. Is like you'd be closer to Kevin, and like that's the honest truth. So yeah, so then it started to like, sink a little bit. But that would probably be that. And then for the placement I give you, I don't think you deserve, obviously, to go when you did. I would say 5th or 6th. Like 5th or 6th, I feel like. Or, yeah, like 6th, 5th, or 4th. Like one of those. Because I do feel like you deserve to make it farther in the game. Because I do know that, like, because of 2020, I know that you have, like, a very good, like, strategic presence. And I know that you know how to make moves. But I feel like you're not someone who everybody would bring to the end because of that simple fact that you are able to do that. So, yeah. So I feel like you'd have to go like 6th, 5th, or 4th. Like it would be like a very like similar scenario to like Jones and Kevin, where like you're like you don't want this person to get too far because they do have like a big presence. So yeah, 6th, 5th, or 4th is like that area where I'd put you.
Okay. Honestly, that was my only question, and you guys all answered it very well. I'm very pleased with the answers, but I am paying attention to all of the answers everybody's asking, so keep up the work. Good luck. Bye.
Caleb.
I'm not trying to drink anymore. I'm like,
Drinking, I don't care.
I can't feel my legs.
Can't feel your leg? me.
That's fun though. It's a fun
Water.
time.
So, how many jurors do we have left? Jules, Kevin.
Um,
Am I missing somebody?
Kevin, Jules, and Jones.
Blake.
Blake is not
Oh,
here,
Jones.
but he left questions. So
Okay.
I'm waiting. I just realized I don't have Kevin added as a friend on Discord. So.
Oh, do you want me to add him here? I can add him here. Do you want me to add him
I would
here,
love
Jacob?
that. I would love that.
Okay. I'll be so embarrassed if I don't. Oh, I do. Kev, I have him on Discord. We're good. All right. Kevin is here.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
You know him better than I do, Jacob. What's going on here, buddy?
I don't know. I feel like
Are you okay?
my Discord just like makes me.
Oh my god, I'm surrounded by swooper people.
Don't insult me like that, Nicole. Don't insult any of us like that. How dare you?
I'm insulting you. I'm just telling the truth. I'm surrounded by swooper people right
Put that to her name. Anyways, this is Kevin's time, not mine.
Anyways, yeah,
now. Okay, sorry, Kevin.
it's okay, I guess. Okay, do I just go?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Okay, wait, how long do I?
I don't really have a time limit. Just don't take forever, I guess.
Okay, I won't. I won't because I don't really know what I'm gonna say. Just being honest. I wanted to start and just address each of you. I'll start with Nick because I played very closely with Nicole and Jet. I feel like I know their games extremely well, at least from the point that the game started to when I left. I don't feel like I have that about you, and I feel like a lot of the jurors feel the same way. They don't really know your game, even people that worked super close with you. So my question to you would be, as briefly as you can, explain to me like the impact you had on this game, because how I saw you is you were just kind of like a voice. You weren't really like a force. You were just kind of saying thing, which is totally okay and totally valid. But like, do you think that how you like when you went on your rants in the house chat, do you think that that had an impact on the game? And if not, how did you have an impact on the game?
I think the things I said in the main chat led to people reaching out to me, which really gave me information because unfortunately, I wasn't given much information. I kind of did that very early on for me, talking too much. And then I kind of turned it, and you were someone, to use an example, you were someone that reached out and gave me information, and I held that fully. And genuinely, I believe that long term I need to use any information I can get to further my game. And honestly, for the lack of information, I feel like I read this game pretty dang well. I was able to tell Jeff you were big threats at the time, especially as a pair. And I knew that Jules was a big threat. It was kind of like a personal connection I had with her. I don't know if I can do it to her. Just from like, I don't want to like break her heart and like upset. But throughout this game, it's hard to tell. I know it's hard for like my alliance and like everyone in the game to like, kind of like see how I play. Kind of played alone for the most part. The only time I played in a group was really like crew. I hate to call it Jules' crew, but like the friend group that everyone called out. Especially to get cheat them out and stuff like that. We were just very close, like tight knit. Sorry about that screaming. My pull on the game would be probably just being someone that knew what was going on and wasn't afraid to like share. Because I didn't really have anyone to tell it to. Because if I told it to someone, it would get told to someone else. And if someone told me something, I'd tell someone else. So it was kind of that kind of situation going on, and my whole thing was trying to make sure I was gonna stay as well as be like a voice in this game. So I had to do what I had to do to make my voice heard, and it wasn't gonna be through PMs because no one trusted me for a lot of this game. And I hope that answers your question. I was kind of digressed a little bit, but
yeah, it definitely does. So thank you. I also just want to. Of course. I also just want to commend you for the game you played because I do think you played a really good game, and I think you, especially against your fellow finalists, your social game definitely shined through. You messaged, to my knowledge, every single person at least almost every day. And in a 22-person game, that is a lot of dedication. So I commend you for that, and I commend you for always trying and never giving up. Next, I have Miss Jessica Messica.
Prepare for her, Jessica. Hello.
Exactly. I don't entirely have a question for you. Like I said, I feel like I know yours and Nicole's games very well. I feel like that says a lot to me for like how I'm going to vote, but because I have this time, I just want to commend you as well for the game you played, because you played an incredible game on like the last 3 vetoes. You were only on the block once as an official nominee. You had a good social game. Wasn't like incredible, but it was
Yes, I know.
very well. So I guess the only question I have for you is clearly to like Caleb or order. Obviously, you were someone that I would. Where would I have been order?
Okay, like I thought about this. Someone had asked that. I think Lily had asked that, and I think okay. On my boot order, you would never have gotten to the end for me. I know too much about how you work at the end. I was literally in your host chat for 2020. I know your brain so much that I knew. Only, Kevin, you played the game I think every single person in this game wanted to play. You had your fucking hands in every single cookie jar. You're the most information. You literally, Kevin, when I say this, I've been playing this shit for 3 years. I've never seen someone snap in a competition as hard as you did. I would have never let you go to the end. Did want to bring you a little bit further than I think Nicole did. Because, I don't know, to be honest with you, I think you were a huge threat in this game. I love you, but I would never have let you go that far. I think, if we're doing boot orders, are we talking like jury on?
If the whole game, like, where did you want me to place?
You're getting cut 5th, bro.
Okay.
That's what I would
then
give
7th.
you. 7th.
Someone.
It's not that I don't love you. It's just I knew at the end I would have never been able to beat you. Snapping comps, so you probably would have came up with those clutch comps that I needed to win. I also think you're really good at talking to people, and people really like you, and you're charming, and yeah. So that's why I would have cut you at 5th. So I think we built enough of a relationship that I owed you respect enough to not give you 7th.
Okay.
You get what I mean?
Thank you. Okay. Yes, definitely. Sorry, this is taking a while, but Cole, last but not least, again, I want to commend you because you were never on the block as a final nominee until the final 4. You were nominated twice and vetoed twice, not by yourself, which is a huge feat. Social game, being as blunt as possible, was the worst of the final 3 here. But my question to you is, in my pitch to you before you put me on the told you a lot of things. Actually, that was a very long document. One of which was that people wouldn't see this as your move, which I think we've seen has happened tonight. Secondly, I wasn't going to win at the end of this game. And having been in jury, I can say that for a fact. I do think that it's important to know that you probably had the best chance of beating me at the end as opposed to anyone else in the final 7. So you, quickly as possible, kind of say, where's I going with this? I don't know where I was going with this. I guess, what did you see in me that you didn't see in Jess? The final 7. Muted. You're muted.
Nicole, sweetie, you are muted. You're good.
Thanks. Anyway, I saw that I think you won. What scared me and what made me go for you was that you won competitions in a way where at any point you could have taken anyone you wanted out, and that's just my opinion on it. Like, if you wanted to win every single veto from then that point on, you could have done it. Like, you competitively are better than all of us. And then on top of that, I felt like you had so many times in this game where you had your hand in so many alliances and so many pots that you could have made that work for you. And so for you to say, like, you wouldn't have won, I feel like I've seen you work a jury. I've seen you really, like, show out, and, like, even if it's a weakness, you make it like good, like positive trait of yours. And so at that point, it was just a fork in the road where I saw Pippa and Gage, and then I saw you and Jess, and then I saw Nick and Jules, and then I just kind of thought, if Kevin leaves, I still have Jess, I still have Gage, and I don't have a massive jury threat who I felt like had so many hands and so many pots. So that's kind of what it was with Jess, is I feel like she, no offense, pissed more people off than you and didn't have as close relationships. Like, she didn't, like, even if you pissed off Jules, there was a chance that you could talk to her at the end. Same thing, I mean, not for Asia, because I feel like she wouldn't have. But like, I just felt like there's a way for you to work the system more than just can work a jury. Because I feel, like, no offense to Jess, like, she's here, go for her. But like, that's what I thought. Like, it was me, you, and Jess sitting at the end. Yay, we're at the end. I am, like, whereas this final three is more balanced, I feel like it's you, then Jess, than me, and I just didn't want to chance it in that way, even if it was just then you, then me. I didn't want that I'm completely overwhelmed feeling of, like, I'm definitely gonna lose, like, you know, like, I just wanted to have something to show for myself, and I apologize that had to come out of your game, but that was just something that I had to do, and that's just something I didn't feel like, even if Jess says she was going to do that, like, there's no proof that that's what was going to happen. Like, she could have, like the way the game went, like, Gage could have won HOH, Jules could have won HOH, Nick could have won HOH, Pibble could have won HOH, and I mean, like, one of them would have been gone if you weren't gone, but you know what I mean. Like, someone else could have won HOH, and you could have won anyway, and that would have been their move, and they would have been commended for it, whereas I'm, like, continuously questioned for it. But yeah, so that's kind of what it was. Is I don't think Jess would have made that move, and I'm sorry, Jess, but I really just don't think, because I feel like her game and your game was more the same than mine, and I feel like you guys kind of would have shut me out in some sort of way at a final three, final two situation. So that's kind of what it was that made me go for you. I'm sorry, Kevin. That's all I have to say.
That's all good. Thank you. I'm sorry that this took so long. Thank you for all of your very good but very long answers. Just want to say good luck. I love you all. You've all played well. All right. Okay, I'm going to leave now. Sorry, Jacob.
You're good. Thanks.
Yeah, I literally,
Jacob, love you, Kevin.
I literally just knocked over my whole ice bucket. Over here, I really gotta pee.
We only have 2 more drawers to get through, so you guys are doing amazing. Last, well, not last, next to last, and certainly not next to least, is Jones.
What is on her cheeks in her picture? Those butterflies or hearts?
I think they're hearts.
Wait. It's not joined.
You offended her. You said, "Oh, it was
Think she's here? Question mark.
Yeah. Hi, Jones.
And
welcome. So whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
This is really awkward because I forgot I was going. Hi. Sorry, can you guys hear me okay? My Discord hasn't been working that well today, and I'm also just like rolling out my sleep. Just want to make sure I look like an egg. Yeah, hi. I had so many things written out, and sorry, I'm like, hello, I just want to say you all look very gorgeous tonight. Thank you for being... I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm really sorry. I'm caught off guard. No! I don't know. Okay. Congratulations to the three of you for making it this far, because obviously you guys do deserve to be here. You guys played a hell of a game, and I am very proud of all three of you. And thank you to Jacob, and thank you to the rest for hosting this game. I, as you can probably tell, wrote a lot of things. I'm not going to be reading everything. I'm just going to be paraphrasing it mainly. I want to start off with Nick. Where are you? I see you. Hey there. Hey. Okay. Hi. I just want to apologize to you really quickly because I feel like there was a point in the game where it kind of became me versus the world, and I feel like I didn't really give myself a chance to like explain to you what was going on, and I am kind of sorry for that. Not kind of. I am.
Well, I'm sorry also for like, kind of upsetting you, but I didn't like mean to like. I kind of just did it. I didn't realize till after until Jess
It's okay.
an example. So I really thought you just mad at me for that. So I'm not mad at you.
It's okay. I learned like right before, my hair looks like shit, but like I learned like right before I got evicted about what you were saying, and it's okay. But I also got, this is all through Jess, by the way. Hi, Jess. But I learned that like, or got the impression that you kind of, after you found out why I was upset with you, you kind of like gave up on me, and that's kind of the impression that I got from what I heard. And I guess I was about it. This is just me like rambling and ranting. I don't know where this is going. This is me ranting, and it's gonna happen to everybody. So get ready. I'm really sorry. I'm like caught up here.
I can like explain all that, and honestly, for me, it was like I messaged you, and then I waited a few days, and I messaged you, and I waited a few days, and I kept saying sorry, so like I couldn't do it anymore. I felt so undoing.
No, it's okay.
So I was like, I can't do it anymore, and that's why I evicted you over. And I do that. I know just the bigger target than you, because you can. I apologize. Apparently, being part of making you kind of give up on the game. I didn't want to do that. But
go ahead. It's okay. That's fine. Keep going.
And then I was like, I have like bad memory.
It's okay, me too. I wrote everything down and I still forgot what I was gonna say.
It was more just, and you know, it's not like anything like personal. I would have messaged you every day and like pretend to have a conversation with you and everything, but it was just like, how long am I gonna PM? And then I just feel mad at me that I knew if you were gonna win HOH, and this is just my opinion. I didn't know if you were actually upset, but I knew when HOH you were gonna put me. And I mean, you can obviously you weren't.
No,
that's my bad.
No, it's okay.
That's communications. I guess it's like where I went.
No, yeah, communication is like a two-way street. So like, gonna be also be like my thing for a lot of this too.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to fully admit that towards the end of my time in this game, I was a goner. Socially, I was just kind of a goner at the end of this game. So communication on my end especially is a two-way street, and I do respect you just trying to reach out and trying to work everything out, and I wish I was able to like get back to you and everything sooner. I just don't think I allowed myself to, and I think I was just blinded by my emotions on that. Let me look at my note. Or wait, you basically like addressed everything. I was gonna say
your vote and your eviction. I mentioned that like Jess is a bigger threat and stuff. Like for you, I was under the assumption that you put me up, and I assume my lines was like, why is he Jones isn't really trying anymore? But like in my opinion, you were trying, and like you were like somewhat trying in comp, or doing enough to like you were trying, and you kind of threatened me. So when I think Jess would like at least consider dominating me, I knew that it would not be like a conversation, and I kind of. My strength in this game was my communication, where I could like message people and they'd message me back. That I'd always be reaching out. So in that thing, I did evict you, and it wasn't anything like, "Oh, I'm mad at her." I was a little like upset, to be honest, that you weren't messaging me. But that's,
understandably so.
Yeah, that's kind of why I gave up. I didn't really want to say I gave up, though. I think I tried until it was too awkward for me to try again, and. Had you messaged me, obviously, I think we would be able to work everything out. I did it to myself. Let's be honest here. Like a lot of what I did in the game was like that's my mistakes, and I was lucky enough to make them all early, and so I can work on them again. So I hope that answers the question.
Thank you. Yes, it does. It does give insight on everything that did happen. And I am I'm thankful, but like thank you for like expressing like the whole, because a lot of like why I didn't want to work with you for a majority of why like when I was in the game was because I knew of like everything you were saying, and I'm thankful that you like brought it up, and yeah, thank you for talking about it, and thank you for like addressing it. I'm very appreciative of it.
Yeah, and thank you for not being like crazy mad at me. I thought I was and like you'd be like, oh my god, like thank you so much, you were so rude to me.
No, it's okay. Like it's all good.
I said thank you for your questions and everything, and like
I have like a couple more. I'm gonna just like go through my little blurbs with everybody. So I'm gonna just ask everyone like a general question. Who do I have next? I have Nicole next. Where's Nicole? Hi, Nicole. So while I was in the jury house, I found out that you went to, I believe specifically Jules, and you went to Jules saying that you got pressured into playing your double vote, and you got pressured into saving me when you were one of the, as far as I know, one of the more adamant people in wanting to split up the friend group. Was there a reason for doing that at all in any way?
Okay, yeah. Now, because someone said it, I think Pippa said it, that I sounded like I was pressured into using it. What it more so was that I kind of went to Jules and I was like, I didn't know that it was going to be that far of a vote. That's kind of what I meant by it. I didn't mean like, oh my god, all these people told me that I had to use my double vote and I feel like an idiot. Like I felt like an idiot, but that was like of my own volition. I am an idiot. And so like that's kind of more what it was. I went straight to her. Emotions were very high because Jonah had just left in like a 7-3 vote when we used 2 double votes. So you know, like when it's not even close and you're like, that's kind of more what I went. I was like, I feel so stupid that I used my double vote. Like I didn't think that it was gonna have that effect. Like I didn't think that it was gonna have a 7-3. I thought it was gonna be like you know what I mean. Like we thought it was gonna be very, very
like closer.
That is why we used both of them.
Yeah.
So, like, we thought it was gonna be very, very close, and so that's kind of when I went to her, and I was like, I don't want you to think that it was like I was trying to like push Joan out. Like it was more like Jones is better for my game. Jonah is obviously better for her game, and I just feel so stupid that I used the vote, and I feel so stupid that I didn't think through, and like I kind of just like, and I'm gonna be honest, like I did like the idea of the alliance that we had built, the Fiesta Station. I love that one. I loved her, and so I did kind of like have like I did kind of get not pressured, but like I did feel like, okay, this is the way to go, and then that's kind of what I was saying to Jules. And I didn't mean it in a way I was pressured, because I know, like I'm stating now, like it was my, like I said to Pippa, like it was my own choice. Like I asked Gage and I asked Pippa because they had put in bells I think it was Gage actually who put him back to buy the double vote. So I had asked him prior, and he said it was fine. And I didn't mean to sound like victimizing and like kind of like, oh, like this thing happened to me. It was more like, I'm so sorry that I used it because now it looks like I really wanted Jonah out, and it wasn't that I wanted Jonah out. It was just that I wanted you to stay. Like you know what I mean? Like out of the two, because I had been on the block and then Jonah was on the block, it's like I'm leaving or you're leaving, and then Jonah's up, and then it's like you're leaving or Jonah's. It wasn't like I was trying to be like, oh, like poor me, like things have like, oh my god, this just happened to me, because I know what I did. Like I know I used a double vote, and like I want to like make the record clear. As sorry as I felt for Jules, I was not trying to like in any way victimize myself and like oh my god, like these villainous people tried to like make me use this vote. Like it was my own volition that I used it, and I didn't mean to like have it like in a way that it was like a pressure situation. Like I messed up and I own that. Like and like obviously if you had like stayed with like a closer vote, like I wouldn't feel like it was such like a mistake to use. But I do feel like it was a mistake because we could have used it other ways.
Yeah. And like
I'm sure you feel the same way about your
cut. I don't know if you cut out at the end or not. Like right at the very end you cut out, but like yeah.
Oh, I said I feel like it was like you feel the same way about yours. Like you wouldn't have used it if you knew that Jonah was gonna.
Yes, but also like I guess because I was on the block.
Yeah.
I was like I was gonna stay, or I wanted to like use it either way, even if I was like going or not.
Yeah, I understand that.
Like
yeah, I feel like me using it just hurt a lot of people, and I didn't in any way mean to like push it onto someone else. Like I should have taken full responsibility with Jules, but what I was saying to her was like that I felt terrible that it was like the way things went down, and I didn't mean to like put the blame on anybody.
Thank you for explaining that, because I was kind of confused when I saw.
Yeah, sorry. Like
no, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. I do want to talk to you about the Kevin blind side also. How much time do I have, by the way? Is this off? Am I going too overboard?
Yeah,
Where's
good,
Jake?
You're good.
I'm okay?
It's like
okay.
Whatever. He doesn't care.
I took like a good 5 minutes trying to figure out where I was, so it's okay. So, about the Kevin backdoor, I have a feeling that you talked about this a lot. There was a lot of things happening, and I was just in and out. But like, so at that time, as the jurors were like kind of forming, Kevin was actually really, really low on our rankings and everything. I see you, Jess. Yeah. Kevin was really low on our rankings of like how we felt about everybody. So I guess my question is, how did you come to the conclusion that like Kevin was like the bigger person than like, let's say, random like Pippa or like Gage or like Jess or like Jules or Nick or someone like that?
I guess. Okay, so I understood that Jules had a lot of say in the game, but I felt like if Kevin left, I was like cutting off a part of her alliance, because I knew that Kevin was very much so loyal to Jules, and he was loyal to Jess, and he was able, like, I've seen Kevin be able to talk his way up to things, and this is, mind you, like, back when we thought this was going to be a Final 2, and so, because we thought it was going to be a Final 2 at Final 7, you know, not Final 4, but, so, yeah, like, I just felt that I've seen Kevin talk his way to a win. And even no matter how mad people were at him, if he brought out the list, like he brought out the list for me and Jules tonight. Like he brought out, I mean, just tonight, not Jules. Sorry. Okay, I'm a little drunk. Okay. Anyway. So he brought up the list for me and Jess tonight, like with our competition wins, how many times we were on the block, like all this stuff. Like that would have been him on like, and if he was sitting next to Nick, who like obviously Nick played well, like he has like an equal chance as Nick, but like at that time, like I just felt like he could consecutively win his way to the end in a way that nobody else there could. Like there would be a time where there was some competition that everyone else was not very good at. And then he'd have to make a choice. He'd have to make a choice between me and Jess. He'd have to make a choice between me and Jewel. He'd have to make a choice between me and Pippa. And maybe he thought that Pippa was as, like, maybe, like, he didn't know Pippa's game as much as mine. And he thought that I would have to go eventually. You know, like, I just really thought that Kevin was the way to go because of the way he could win out. Like, it was more competitively and socially that he had more people than me that I chose him. I could have put up Jess, but at that point, if Jess wins veto or like something like that, or at that point, if I put up Jess and I blindside Jess, Kevin's aware and he's mad. But if I put up Kevin, Jess is not mad at me. She did not get mad at me. So, like, you know, like, it was just a matter of preservation of my own game at that point. Who do I put up? And if they come down or they're not mad, who do I put up and they stay and they're not mad? Who do I put up and, like, who is not going to target me next week for this move that I'm making? And that's kind of what it was. Along with, like, other jury things that I've seen Kevin do in games. Even if he is not liked, he is able to kind of turn the jury in his favor, even if they're mad at him.
Thank you. And I do respect because you have like literally full control of the entire week and you like could have done literally anything with that week. So like, I don't know. At the time, I thought of it as like a big thing, even if I was a little bit like lower in how I felt about Kevin. I still thought it was a big thing, and I was proud of you for like actually being able to pull that off and like still making it this far. So that's still something I'm really proud of yourself for. Yes,
I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Where's Miss Jessica Messica? Are you preparing for your Deathika?
I am prepared for my Deathika.
All right. Well, God bless America. So, or Canada. Because you live in Canada.
Yeah, I do, but you can bless America if you want.
So, you kind of like cut out for that. We're going to say, I'm going to assume that you said you love them. And
no,
yeah.
I said you can bless America. I don't know if I love America, but like you can.
Same here.
Want with your blessings. Right.
Thank you. So, I actually couldn't finish writing this, but I just do want to say that I am very proud, and as like my closest ally in this game, because like you were like my ride or die, and I am just very thankful that you are here, and I am very appreciative of you being here. I'm just proud of you for like making as far as you did, because I have flashbacks to like when you and I were on the block with each other, and you were like, Jones, I'm a goner. Jones, I'm literally going to go right after you. There's no hope for me in this game. And it's like, dude, there's no way, there's no hope for you in this game. And obviously there was hope for you in this game. And I think you have to give yourself a bit more credit. I do think, admittedly, you have some of your perception of this game a little bit warped. The underdog statement. Yeah, I know Pippa addressed the underdog thing, but like, I want to like, because admittedly, as like a juror, like, I guess I didn't really see a lot of you. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Like, Nicole, I saw, and like, I saw like Pippa and Jules and everyone like that. So like, I guess like describe something that like happened to you after I got evicted that like changed your game and like helped you get there.
Right.
Get here, I mean.
Fair. That's a fair statement. I do think I kind of let my perception of the game and how I was letting people perceive my game be a little different than what it actually was. I think something that happened very differently. I don't want to bring it back to the Kevin vote because I feel like we've talked about the Kevin vote a little too much. I think as soon as I realized that like my number 1 and arguably my number 2 were gone, I knew I had to turn that shit up and comp. I think we all knew that my strong suit had never been comp. I honestly forgot your question because I'm like kind of drunk. Can you repeat it again?
Describe like a turning point. I think the turning point term is what I should be saying. Describe a turning point in your game after I got evicted.
Alright, so there was a time in the game where Mr. Nicholas over here, is your full name Nicholas? I don't know. Nick, he basically called me out in the tribe, and not tribe chat, because it's not Survivor, this is Big Brother. He called me out. He was like, Jess is the biggest threat to win. Like, she needs to fucking go. And I was like, me like whip my hair back. I'm gonna turn out some comps now, and I want Jones, me. Yes. I want a fucking head of household. Then I won 2 vetoes in a fucking row, I think, and then I won final, and I think that was a turning point because I was got a fire. I went on for 10 hours, Jones, me. Remember when we used to do the endurance together? Me. Went on for 10 hours to fucking do that shit because I knew if I didn't win that comp to the end, they were gonna fucking cut me. Jules was going around telling people to cut me. Nick, I don't know what the fuck you were doing, dude. But yeah, that was like the turning point, I think, because I was like, Jones is gone and she's my most dependable. I told Jones every little thing. But there was times where Jones was like, can people stop fucking talking for you to me? Because that's what our relationship was. It was like me and Jones. But where I was going with this. But yeah, that was a turning point because losing you, Jones, was like, I don't want to be like fucking dramatic, but like losing you was like losing a part of my game that I didn't think yeah, like losing Jones was like a really big part of my game. Oh god, never cry. Losing Jones was like a part of my game where I was like, fuck my life. What am I gonna do now? Because Jones and she was so dependable. When everyone discounted Jones and were like, Jones is not playing the game, I'm like, bitch, you guys aren't letting her play the game. Know what I mean? And I was like, I saw value in people, and I saw the value in Jones when no one saw the value in Jones. Yeah, when Jones left, I was like, motherfuckers got a storm coming because, like, I'm gonna turn out these comps, and I'm gonna get to the end. Sarah. Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or not. My mascara is running. I see it. I feel it.
Oh, get a napkin. Oh my god. Okay. Thank you for answering that for me.
Welcome. I'm gonna drink more.
Go ahead. I believe in you. Just don't forget the water. But I do have a question for everyone. I know I mentioned earlier. I'll make this really quick. I promise. I swear. And y'all can start whatever order you want. That's totally fine. Do you guys have anything that you regret absolutely in this game?
Jess, you want to select yourself? I'll go first.
You want to go first?
I'll go first. Yeah, if you. Yeah, you. Okay. For me, it's totally Blake's eviction. I handled that terribly. Bad dream management. Everything was terrible. It was. I literally think he trusted me. Like, and I just didn't. The same way as like long-term benefit because I knew Blake had better connections to their side of the house than me. And even though I was social, Blake was like, Blake's really likable. Everyone likes Blake. So for me, when Blake calls me and it's like, I think, and I tell him he's saying in my butt, and I get a call 30 minutes later with Asia begging me, like, and I can't tell Blake he's gonna blow up. And Asia's gonna telling me about this power, and I can't tell Blake, and I'm like, she said I could, Blake, but like, I knew I couldn't really tell him because and it would have been bad for. To my knowledge, I don't know about if he would have actually done that, but that's my biggest regret because jury management's important. I tell everyone to a really high standard for that, and I said, "Oh, everyone has bad jury management." Meanwhile, I'm here like evicting Blake when he doesn't even know I'm evicting him, and it's last second, like panicking. I didn't tell them anything. It's just bad jury management part. So that's my one regret in this game, and all not leaking things. I need to work on that, basically, and yeah, for like a big mistake I make, that's like crazy. So I mean, I'll go with that. And thank you for the question.
Yes, of course. Thank you for answering. Nicole or Jeff, you guys can go first.
You're good. Oh, okay. So I try not to have regrets in games. I think everything I do is with intention. I think my biggest regret personally is Cage was going. I didn't tell him he was going. I know I should have been more honest with my intentions and knew he was going. I obviously used the veto that round, so I think that was like a major regret because I tried to be as nice with people when they were getting sentenced out. That's all. I was trying to, be honest with people. I think that was like a big thing in my game where people knew if my vote went somewhere, it meant it went somewhere, and I was very honest with people. So I think that was like a major regret personally, because like I don't want to make people feel like shit on their way out. I know what it feels like when people fucking bamboozle you on your way out or try to like gaslight you. So yeah, that was a major regret. Cool.
Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Nicole.
So, if it's okay, I'm gonna have two.
Yes, fine.
First one is getting too in my head about pre-game relationship. I felt like I, as someone who has been in this community a long time, am able to piece together. But that doesn't mean that they're working together in this game, and that kind of is what was the detriment to my game. And that's kind of what surrounded all of the negative parts of my game. Thinking about too much about pre-game relationships and how people interact with each other based on how they interact outside of the game, because I've seen a lot of people in this game. Obviously, this game was full of people who talk to each other outside, have friendships outside of the game. I think I just got really insecure about I'm never going to be that person's number one because they have this person, and this person. And so that, oh my god, there's a bug on my nose. Anyway, that was my one regret. That's my big regret that spanned like the majority of the game, and that I will admit to fully, is that I got too in my head about pre-game and outside relationships, and to a point where I felt like I couldn't socialize with certain people because they were already aligned with other people. And then the second one is when Asia was going, and I felt like this is kind of more of a personal one because I love Asia with like all of my heart and soul. I love her like like a sister. And so I didn't want to like exclude her from things, and I think even if I lost this game, and even if I went before this and stuff, like anything that I could take back in this game would be excluding Asia from Jonovo, and I'm not telling her that I was going to do that. We've talked about this, me and her, like not on a game level, but on a personal level. I never want to make her feel like the way I make her feel ever again. So that's the second one. Like I just never, ever, like I talked about with Jonah, like it's the worst I've ever felt in a game ever. But like on top of that, the added layer was Asia, like the way she felt. I would never in a million years want her to feel that way again. And so that's like the second regret that I would have, is like not cluing her in because I didn't want her to feel the way she felt, because I know how she felt.
Thank you for answering. And I also do want to touch on like the pregame relationships thing. I don't care about it, to be honest, because I feel like at some point everybody had like, whether we like to admit it or not, even I'm gonna like admit it, I literally sent like this entire like list of all of the pregame relationships that I knew like day one, and like I had that in my brain up until I got evicted the entire time. So like whether we want to admit it or not, I think everybody kind of thought about pre-game relationships in some way. So I don't hold that against you, and I don't hold that against anybody. So yeah, I'm good now. I just want to say one more time, congratulations to all three of you. I hope I wasn't like too hard or anything like that. I don't know if I was or not, but yeah, you guys are almost done. You guys are doing really good so far. Have a lovely night. Congrats again. Bye-bye. I don't know how to give.
I love you. Alright, so
Literally broke my fucking face during that. Ugh.
it's time
I don't know if that's a sign.
for the final juror to ask their questions.
Question.
And then
Did you ever Oh, never mind. You're gonna answer that. My bad.
Then
Say,
after,
did you
after Jules asks her questions, we will get to the vote and the awards.
You ever ask Blake's question, Jacob?
Blake didn't leave a question. I was
Wait.
misled.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Hi.
Hi, Jules. The floor is yours.
Now I gotta see myself all day. I should prepare. So I said I was gonna wing it. Probably not the best idea. It's gonna be pretty over the place, and I hope you guys can respond. To start this off, I don't know what to say. Well, I will start off with, when I do ask a question, on God, make it short. I will cut you guys the fuck off. I've heard a lot of repeated answers tonight, and I just don't want to hear it again. So let's keep it short and sweet, like Pippa said. Anyways, first of all, I'm just going to kind of speak to you guys and get my feelings out, because obviously I've been in this game with you guys a lot longer than the rest of the jury has, especially with a lot of moments being delayed, which caused me to be in there much longer. And I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of not fun. It wasn't fun. But anyways, basically, I'm gonna just like go down the list and say what I think, especially just with what I've been hearing. First of all, I want to start with Jess. Jess, I said literally when I went out that you were going to win this game, and there's no doubt in my mind that you're not, putting you in this position. And it's just like, and I know when I was going out, I said, I'm going to vote for Nick. At this point, I don't know, you all have a fair shot. The hardest thing is keeping me from voting you personally right now, Jess, is the fact that you told Lily that talking to people basically felt like a chore and you didn't have any game to talk about. So for me, it's like, why? Why should I vote for you because you said that? And yeah, I'll listen to that answer.
You were like kind of cutting out for me because my Wi-Fi is like, whoa. Were you saying something about talking to people felt like a chore?
Yes, that you told her that essentially, like a quoted version, I don't remember word for word, but basically that talking to people in game was basically becoming a chore.
Okay, so obviously that's kind of not what I wanted to say. I get that if maybe it came off that way. I just think when there's a game with 22 people, it's kind of really hard to try to talk with every single person in the game. I think what I did personally is I made sure that there were 10 people who I knew were close to somebody else who had my best interest in mind. I knew that it would always get kind of conveyed to them, like, hey, Jess is kind of cool. I talked to Jess. And I know that was one of my weaknesses also in the game. Like, I know I didn't talk. I wasn't Nick. I didn't talk to every single person every single day. It wasn't a chore. I promise you, every like conversation I had with every single person was kind of genuine. Like, I could try to tell you something from every single person on the jury if you want. But like, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't a chore. It's just like I kind of knew that the roadmap of this game was you can try to talk with all you want, but all it took was one relationship. You know what I mean? I don't know. Jules, you kind of scaring me a little bit. So like, I'm kind of blanking right now. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, it wasn't that it was a chore. I promise you, every conversation I had with people was genuine. I think that's something in games that is kind of my downfall with people. I get too close to them, and then cutting them is really hard. I didn't want to come off as fake with people where I had my hands in too many cookie jars. Then I had to cut people because I think that's kind of slimy and that's kind of snaky. So the people I kind of, I'm not going to say invested because that's like kind of a stupid word. But the people I was with knew I was with them. Unfortunately, I understand that like there's people who I weren't with that felt a certain way. Oh my God, someone's talking to Jules. Well, wait a minute. Well, is it your mom? Is it your sister? Is it? Hello. Welcome to my jury Q&A. I'm gonna answer your sister's question now. So yeah, it wasn't a chore. I promise you. I've done chores before. Obviously in my lifetime. I promise you, it wasn't a chore. I just delegated. I knew that, like, for example, my relationship with Kevin. Well, I knew about your care package. I knew about, like, your little...
One of the dog knew about my care package.
No, not as fast as I did, sweetie. But yeah, so, like, I kind of knew the value of... I knew that if I knew one person, you knew one person. Such a big cast as this is what it is. I promise you it wasn't a chore, Jules. I really enjoyed playing with you. You were the person I was most excited to play with in this game. I'm like, we went to rocks for each other. I don't know if you guys ever done that before, but if you've gone to rocks with someone, you've been through hell and back. Yeah. That's what it is. I hope I answered your question. If not, I'm really sorry. Hi to your sister for me.
It's my cousin.
Cousin.
Next thing I have to discuss is for Nicole. Hi. I feel like I'm coming off very bitchy tonight, so oh well. Anyways. Where was I gonna go with this? This is another thing, and it's like I feel like I'm like bitter on Lily's behalf, but it's just stuff that like sticks out to me like that, and it's like, just why? Basically, I had heard that you went to Asia and told Asia that Lily was coming off as aggressive because she would text you, and you said called her aggressive because she you wouldn't reply to her. So basically, I like it. To me, it just is coming off like complaining just because you only want to talk to the people you're working with, because you also didn't even try to talk to me until I won HOA. I think we both knew that. And then it's just like the whole thing with like the babies and like, oh, one of us has to go. I hear this shit every single game. And I get that you were focused on pre-made relationships, but it's just like, why not try at least? Because even I'm friends with Asia. I was friends with almost half of this cast, and I still made connections like Shoy, Jake, a lot of other people. So it's just like when you don't put in that effort, it makes me like frustrated. And another thing I have to bring up is the whole thing with you coming to me about the, and I do have the screenshots of the conversation. I can tell you.
Sorry, you cut out for a second. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just want to let you know that you cut out for a second. So that
Where did I cut out?
What that meant.
Where did I cut out?
You cut out when you said about the, and then I don't know what you were talking about. Yes.
And I know you've been saying like you didn't mean to come off that way, but I kind of just want to read you what you said so you can see how it's being perceived.
Yeah, I understand.
Hold on, let me see exactly where to start. Well, first of all, so that was already not a good start, and I was completely in the dark as well as Asia. And I know, obviously, you probably don't feel the best about that, but I hope you know that. You said that Jess told you that Jonah had 3 cancel votes and that he was going to use it on you. Talked, like I said, you ignored me. You were under the impression you were being lied to, and that in no way is that an excuse for not being straight up with you. And you said that you felt bamboozled by what people were telling you. So I just kind of want a little bit more of like elaboration on everything, like on both of the topics I brought up.
I've already said with Pippa, and I've already said with Jones, like I wasn't trying to like victimize myself in any way. I wasn't trying to say like, oh, they, like when I said the word bamboozled, I didn't mean like they like it just pisses me off. Sometimes I say things and I'm an idiot. I'm a little drunk, so I'm gonna self-loathe for like a minute. But love my life coming into play and orgs. But anyway, Sometimes I victimize myself for no reason. That's kind of what it was. Is like I didn't mean like I was just so upset that Jonah went by such a far stretch of a vote. By bamboozled, I meant like when we were in like we had like I'm trying to explain it. Like we were in an alliance called like it doesn't matter what it was called, whatever. It was like Jones, Minnie, Gage, Jess, Kevin, and we basically were like trying to make sure Jones stayed, and I had told them about my double vote. If I didn't use the double vote, like they would know I still had it, like and at that point, I did feel like it makes no sense why I did feel. Yeah.
Then why tell me that you're gonna evict Jonah? Just rip the bandit. Like, just tell me why there can be any honesty there.
Okay, so when you asked me if I was gonna evict Jonah, obviously I'm still on the block. If I stay on the block, then I'm leaving. If I tell you that I'm not gonna evict Jonah, I was more so
you were gonna get taken off the block either way because you were working with Kevin, who's gonna take you off. Period.
But I felt like there was so much time in between. Like I know that like you're upset about that. Like I obviously know, but there was just so much time in like I regret not telling you obviously that. And I'm gonna get back to the Lily stuff. I didn't mean to call her aggressive. What I meant is like she was so intimidating. Because I meant to touch about this in my opening statement, but I didn't. There were a lot of times where it was near a vote and you would message me and then Blake would message me, then Lily would message me, then Cheatham would message me. And it just felt very overwhelming. I didn't need to make it like sound like aggressive or like intimidating. It was more so overwhelming for me. And I know that's like no excuse to like she was like I'm just so intimidated by her social ability, if that made any sense. And I know it doesn't make any sense now because like she asked to be voted out, so like obviously at the end she wanted to leave. But before that, like the way that she would talk to me right before a vote and be like, "Are you sure you're voting this way?" Like that is what I meant when I confided in Asia and I told her like it's intimidating to me that she is able to like just talk to me right before a vote and make sure I'm voting that way. Like that's what I meant by that. And that was like very early in the game that I said that to Asia. And then I forgot the other part. Like the part that I was just talking about. But before like I don't know. I just don't know at this point. Like I didn't mean to like make it sound like she was aggressive. What I meant was that she was intimidating as a social player, not like aggressive, like she was aggressively speaking to me, because all of the conversations that I had with Lily were not game related, and I will admit that. Like we literally talked about me crocheting a fucking bunny. Like that's all we talked about. Like I didn't mean it in that sense. And then with the Jonah vote, I didn't mean to like victimize myself and like, oh, they bamboozled me into voting it. Like when I went to you directly after the Jonah vote, and like I know you said that like I ignored you before the Jonah, but that was strictly because the same thing that had been happening the whole game, where right before the vote, 5 people messaged me like actual like exact order. Like every single vote, like right before the vote, people asked me what I was doing. I felt like, oh, they're definitely going to use the power now. And that's what I meant by bamboozled. Is like kind of like I used this vote for no reason. I felt like it was a certainty that this power was going to be used. Yeah, sorry. I know you asked me short.
It's okay.
Short and short, I'm stupid. Thanks, Jules.
I'm just going to comment on a few more things. I don't want answers on them because I do have a question, but obviously the jury's tired. I'm tired. I heard for the it's just like and I know this happened with Jess too, it's just like a message is a message. And I think a lot of people felt short on that because even if you're saying all this, people tried to reach out to you guys and it felt like that wasn't getting, bless you.
Thanks.
I feel bad because I'm sitting here like dragging the fuck out of y'all, but it's like Nick, at least even a hi, how are you was like nice. Like it was nice sometimes just to get like checked up on in a game where people literally got straight up ignored by you guys. But moving on from that, even if I was the final juror, you guys still had a few days, and I know some other people didn't receive goodbye messages, so I'm gonna take a part out of Jonah's book, and because I didn't get any of them, period, what's your goodbye message to me? Anyone can start.
Okay, so I'm pretty good at those. I'm not gonna lie, the night that you were evicted, I usually do them right away. It was pretty, like, gone. Jules, I would have said that easily get Whiteback fucking takes you out in games really fast because you are one of the most charismatic and one of the most not trying to kiss your ass, I swear to God. Like, when I talk to you, it's an authentic experience. Makes sense? Like, I know what I'm getting with Jules. I know that I'm getting with Jules is something every single other person is and Gary to be. I never wanted to be, I know in your exit you had talked about transparency. And I know that like towards the end we kind of like, you know what I mean? There was like a bridge in the road and we kind of both went left. I went left, you went left. And I just wanted to say it was never personal in my goodbye message. Because I do think, Jules, if you were sitting at the end, I think you know this. I think you know you would have like gotten a few votes here and there, and I think you would have won because you are. I think you do yourself as good as I see you, where you're charismatic. You are someone who think you kind of had a pulse on the game, even though maybe a lot of people didn't think you did. Like you were thinking 12 steps ahead, and to me that's very threatening, and that's why I did what I did. I also would have told you I loved you, that I would go to rocks for you any day of the week, and that would have been my goodbye message. Am I cutting out? Okay, cool. Sorry, I couldn't tell. You were putting your ear towards the screen, and like, yeah. Sorry.
Hi, by the way. I know what it's like to have people with you and your cousin. But my goodbye message to you would have been, I'm sorry for not doing it to you, obviously, but mine would just be saying I feel incredibly humble and honored and joyful that I got a chance to game. We didn't really work maybe flip. You from the moment we like talked in this game, I knew it was going to be like kind of special between you and I with like how our connection was, and I knew that you might have had your back, and you had. I knew you had mine. I'm not sure how I was like, you remember me? Sure, like where that, but I know my number what I did tell Jess and that I would be able to do, but we discussed it after the games. I kind of mentioned it, and I just couldn't morally do it. I won that challenge. If I won, no offense, Jess, I love you to death, but I probably would have evicted you. And I'm not just saying that, but it's just how it was. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say about that. I know you've had like a lot of ups and downs in this game, and I hope to keep playing with you and talking to you at this game.
Not to like make this an excuse, but you know that I've been going through a lot. So when things ended in this game and things were like up in the air, like we're doing this Monday, like I didn't think to do like goodbye message, and it's on me, obviously. But besides that, I would have said that outside of this game that I love you and that I wish that we would have worked together more and to keep things short and sweet. I don't know why we didn't, and that I just have a lot of regrets, and that I wish you could see that I fought to be here so hard, and If you don't see that, that's fine. And you're valid in your feelings and your frustrations and your anger. And that's basically the short and sweet version, because I don't want you to have to sit here listening to me ramble, because that's not what you deserve. You deserve to be in my spot.
Can I just say something? Can I just say something? I appreciate how Jules has the fucking Beyonce fan. Sorry, I just had to point it out.
Oh, you mean my raggedy ass?
It's making your hair flow, though. It's making your hair flow. Sorry. If I did not say something, it was gonna bug me. Sorry.
Well, that's all I had to say. I still have to like think it over, even though these are getting read tonight. Thanks for your time.
Are votes getting read tonight, Jacob?
Yeah, he said that. He said votes then or.
Yeah, I was so shocked.
I'm gonna give the jury like.
I'm so happy I'm drunk.
We get closing statements? Do we not get closing statements? Is that not a thing?
Statements. We're going on 2 hours. We've been doing this for like 2 hours. So your guys' closing statements are gonna be limited to like 2 minutes.
Well, does anyone else want to go first? A change?
Mine's gonna be really short, so let's go first.
Okay, you can
go. Okay, so thank you for all your questions. I understand that I upset a lot of people, and furthermore than a vote, I just want to apologize because I don't want people to think of me as a bad person, and I know I'm gonna get emotional because I'm drunk and I'm stupid. But I just want you guys to know that like I didn't mean to hurt anybody in this game, and I didn't mean to like portray like anything anybody said to me or any like oh my god, I'm crying on a stream. That's so embarrassing. But anyway, I just really don't want you guys to think that I like victimize myself and like I don't want you to think that I was like trying to be a bad person or trying to be upset with you guys or like anything like that or like trying to paint anybody in a bad light. And if I get your vote, I appreciate it, but if I completely understand, and just vote with your heart and vote how you think the game, like who you think the game completely encompasses instead of who you like who you think. Like, don't vote for your friend, vote for who you think was best baby. And that's it. Like, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because if I don't, then I'll just die.
Okay.
Who's going next?
You can go if you want to.
Ladies first, I guess. I don't have anything prepared for my closing statement. Let's just say this. I mean, I think my game kind of spoke for itself. I think, honest to God, like, love you both, but I think I played the best game and I was able to adapt to my situation early on and obviously build connections, I think, with the jury. Cole, I think you're totally valid. I don't think anyone should think anyone's a bad person based on their game. Jury, vote with your heart. How you want to vote is your vote. I can't tell you what to do. Any votes coming my way, I will obviously appreciate. At the end of the day, it is a game. Conversations I had with people were authentic. They weren't chores. I promise you that. It is what it is. Good luck to both Nicole and Nick. I think everyone here, think about it, guys. We made Final 2 at 22 people, and I think we should be proud of ourselves. That's all I got, y'all. Mic drop. Really drop my mic. Cool.
Thank you, Jess. Okay, Nick, close us out.
Okay, I'll try and finish this out. Oh, yeah, I'll try and finish this up, please. All you guys decide if you have already. I know the game was like from you people, you and the jury. My game is very underdoggy, and I hate to say it because I think every story, but I feel like I in any big I think I moved the game. But besides that, I kind of struggle to get information, get connections, do all the stuff that the benefit of having. a game is very different. Here might not be as flashy, but I said what had to be in chat, did what I had to do to save, round to round. I had 7 times, just like that. But at the end of the day, I believe I played a very strong game, and I love both Jess and amazing. Nicole, you should not be bad about your game. Jess, you should receive like every single credit you've gotten and did amazing as well.
Nick.
And yeah, that's really all. I wish you both good luck, and any votes are appreciated.
Okay, thank you all so much to the jury and the finalists for doing this Q&A, because it was actually really like, I mean, this is only like the 4th game I've hosted, but this was like the best Q&A I've ever seen in my life. So thank you for that. So yeah, I'm gonna give the jurors a couple minutes to decide who to vote, and then we will get on with the winner and the awards.
We still
So yeah.
are we still streaming?
Oh, we are.
Is this still live?
I'm too lazy to make
I won't say what I'm gonna say that. It's totally fine. I recently only figured out how to stream, so I get it. I was gonna say something really bad. I don't need that all over the internet. I'm really proud of you two. Honest with you, like, wow. This was a big final 3. I don't know about y'all, but like, would have
me and Jess talked about crying all day, and I was the only one who cried with a big ass baby.
So, I cried when Jones came out. I just want to say, almost. And when I saw Nicole was play, felt like me and Nicole. Jacob knows what I'm talking about. Jacob was like, "Please, Jess, don't quit." He's like, "I would love to see you play."
Literally.
I felt like me and Nicole got to a spot. Like, Nick, I don't know if you know this, but me and Nicole got.
Get emotional again, please, Jess.
It was like, I don't hate Nicole, but I felt like Nicole really didn't like me. I have an issue with like, people don't like me. I fixate on it. Where I'm like, people don't like, why don't they like me? Why don't they like me? And I was like, does Nicole not like me because I have friends? You know what I mean? Like, it was just like one of those moments. And I was like, what's going on here? And then I saw Nicole was in the cast. I'm like, you know what? I'm like, girl, this. And I'm really glad I played, because even, I was going to say this in my closing statement, but like, I kind of blanked. Honestly, I don't want to sound cheesy, but even if I don't win this game, I'm really glad, Nicole, that we don't hate each other anymore.
No, like, I know I'm not winning, but
I can go through the yells and not
things, yeah. And everything that I got for this game, I even told like everyone, like, the things that I appreciate most, like, that are worth more to me than votes, because I don't think I'm getting any, is my friendship with you and my friendship with Kevin. And like, those 2 things are like worth more than me, like, to me, than anything I could have gotten from this. So that I withstanded like the other votes. Like, I thought I was out like week 2, but like, I'm so glad that I wasn't, because throughout this game we built such a friendship that I don't even like. Yeah, that's the surface level. It's this game, but like besides that, it's like a friendship with you and Kevin, and like obviously more than you, but like Kevin that I just.
Jacob, stay okay. Do you want us to shut up?
I'm gonna cut you guys off. I'm really sorry, but there'll be a
like,
reunion.
Shut up! Something
But I do have the
Go
votes.
ahead.
I wrote them all down on note cards.
Okay.
I'm too lazy to make keys. I don't know how to use scissors, so they're on just like regular note cards. So all 10 votes are here, and I will reveal them one by one, saying who voted for who.
Can I just leave the call and join back because I can't see your screen, Jacob?
Yeah, am I like not on video?
You're
Just
like,
for me.
what's kind of glitchy.
Oh wow.
You have like the blue. Just join back 1 second. Oh, and okay. Now Nicole's on the video, but I see you, Jacob. So that's fine.
Okay. Okay. So first of all, thank you all so much for the game. I really enjoyed hosting this, even though it was like kind of messy at times and really low budget and like not the best. But I appreciate you all for sticking it through. It was really long, but I hope you guys had fun, and thank you guys. So first, Jules has cast her vote for Jess. Okay, this you can't even see the note cards, but whatever. Pippa has cast her vote for Nicole. Gage has cast his vote for Jess. Kevin has cast his vote for Jess. So that's 3 votes for Jess, 1 vote for Nicole. Wow, my camera's lagging really bad. Okay. Asia has cast her vote for Jess. Jones has cast her vote for Jess. And Blake, Jonah, Caleb, and Lily all cast their vote for Jess, which means congratulations, Jess. And a 9-1 vote. You have won Big Brother Animal Crossing after a long, like.
I never win. Oh god, I'm gonna cry. I'm drinking. Wait, no how.
I'm so happy for you.
I never win.
I've literally never been so happy for you in a game before.
Have not. You called me some names like at this point, but oh my god, okay. Don't know how to do a fucking goodbye speech or like a welcome speech. Thank you, Jury, for voting for me.
Oh my god, I'm so happy for you. That's something much you deserve it.
Okay, professional time. I puked in my sink before this. I was that nervous.
I'm about to puke right now, so that's why I went so fast.
Jacob has a fear of puking, just so you guys know. So if he's gonna puke, that's not.
That's why I was going so fast.
Fine.
I literally feel very.
We learned this weekend.
Fine, Jacob. I feel you. My sink is still clogged. But yeah, thank you guys for voting for me. I don't win stuff, so this is like a fucking new feeling. Thank you to the people who believed in me this season, notably Mr. Trent, Celissa, Mr. Gavin. Yeah, that's all I got. I think 2 of you, I was getting emotional, but yeah, I think 2 of you guys were worthy people in the end, and I don't think you guys should let jury votes tell you guys how you feel about this game, because you guys won. You guys came in final 3, and 22 people cast. Shit's fucking hard. But yeah, I love you guys. I'm not religious. I don't know what I'm praying, but like Pride Month, woo. That's all I got,
Yeah,
Jacob. Go
you all
puke.
did amazing. I'm literally like so proud of all of you, and thank you guys so much
I
for
love
like
this.
sticking this game out. I appreciate it so much. You all put so much effort in. I'm gonna end the stream. I'll be doing awards in the reunion chat when I feel like.
That's the fucking reunion.
Give me like 10 minutes. I think
Cool.
I'm gonna throw up, and then we will do that. But
Congratulations, Jess. I'm so happy for you.
Look at us. Look at us. Imagine Nicole being like, Jess,
Oh my
I'm
god, I'm
fucking
so happy for you. I never thought I could be this happy for you in my life.
Okay, fun fact, like,
I'm so happy. I'm